Hey there and welcome back to South Park: The Stick of Truth. My name is Pete and today we complete the Bard quest, the last bit of the main quest line that we can complete on this first day in South Park. As promised, I also had a look at our inventory and I actually decided to stick with the stuff that we received in the last episode. In case of the Holy Staff, that was done because the Holy Staff has 2 upgrade slots compared to only 1 on the Mace of Restoration, and if we use both of those slots, it is the most powerful melee weapon we currently have. I also decided to stick with the Jewish gear for now and just see if that works for me, and I equipped a few nice armor patches. We're now regenerating 1 PP every turn from our headwear. On the Holy Robes we have an upgrade that heals us 5 HP every turn, and we have additional HP leeching on the Holy Ring. So I admit we're not playing too much into the strength of the Jew class, as especially hit point regeneration might not be the best suited upgrade for him, but let's just see how that works out. In terms of our quest, we have learned that the Stick of Truth is currently in the possession of someone named the Bard, and that is exactly who we're seeking out today.
There it is, the Inn of the Giggling Donkey. Paladin, are you sure the Bard is hiding out in there?
That's what Twitter says.
Carrier Raven, Butters!
Sorry, that's what the Carrier Raven says.
Craig and Token, guard the back door. Butters, Kenny, Sir Douchebag, let's go inside. Stay close, Sir Douchebag. The Inn of the Giggling Donkey harbors the scum of Alzaron. A glass of meadle wine, please. No meadle wine today, only fairy ale. A pint of fairy ale, then. So, has, anyone seen the Bard lately? A cup of fairy ale isn't much if not accompanied by some bardic poems and songs. Sure, he's here, all right. He's got a room down in the cellar. Ah, and I shall pay handsomely for his services. Sir Douchebag? Butters, Douchebag, go down and flush him out. Princess Kenny and I will be waiting here to murder him. Remember, the Bard can use songs to enchant. Don't let him get to you.
Alright, we're down here in the cellar, and as usual we have to get things started with a bit of looting. First of all, there is a dryer underneath the stairs here, and then we also have a toolbox over on the left.
You think the Bard's really down here? I think I hear him. Hello? Oh, Jesus, it's the Bard!
Prepare for battle, weaklings. Elves, fall in. Douchebag, it's a trap! You should have never come here, humans. I am a level 10 bard, and with my loot, I shall power up my elven guards with magical songs of enchant. Magical songs of enchant. Magical songs of enchantment. Magical songs of enchantment. There once was a maiden from Stoneberry Hollow. She didn't talk much, but boy did she swallow.
Alright, first fight of the episode, and we're going up against 3 elves. They are inconveniently positioned all behind each other, and that sadly makes Butters' Hammer of Storm's ability not that useful here, which it normally is in fights against larger groups of enemies. We can however use our maxed out Sling of David now, which is guaranteed to hit 1 random additional target, and therefore has pretty much the same effect.
We're seeing if it works.
Now, I also do a pretty poor job blocking in this fight. We get the counter up to, I believe, 49 or so, but there are still quite a few attacks that I failed to block here.
You're mine now. I have a nice lance that she set up on. The maiden from Stoneberry who is also your mom.
Now that the elves no longer have the defense up buff, however, we can do a lot more damage and almost wipe out the entire group in the next round. Our fully upgraded Sling of David ability is once again immensely useful here.
There once was a maiden from Stoneberry Hollow. She didn't talk much, but boy did she swallow.
And now, despite health regeneration, we only have 1 more enemy to deal with here, and he is not too much of a challenge.
get down there and finish them off. I will protect the stick of truth. Come on.
Right, now we have a few more enemies coming into the area, but we can actually eliminate all of those without a single fight. After grabbing the loot from the first fight, we can use our Cup of Heart ability to blow up the lamp here and get rid of the first one, and then we can get us some outside help.
I'll handle this. Ow. Ow, my ankle. I think it might be broken.
Yeah, maybe I should take a look at it.
And that does sound like a job for Paladin Butters.
Thank you, noble paladin. My wound is healed. Can you get us upstairs? I think they locked us out.
Nothing a level 12 thief can't take care of. You guys go ahead.
You're a douche.
And right here we can unlock the Dragon Wrath achievement for eliminating 3 enemies at once with a single fart outside of combat. This gives us the Elvish Shortbow, a weapon that we don't want to miss, and once we're done with all the looting, we can head back upstairs.
For the elf tank!
Someone help!
That came from the kitchen. Take that!
In the kitchen we can shoot down the lamp to already eliminate one of our enemies, the other 2 we'll deal with in a normal fight.
Ah, motherfucker!
Yo, dog, can't I just go right back home after the flight so I don't get grounded?
And there is really not much to see here, so let me speed things up a bit. Since one of the enemies is stunned, we have nothing to worry about, and can simply let the Mongolian bow do its work.
Whippy! Your word is the command, my lord. Shall I heal the king, my lord? Or maybe let him suffer just a little bit more?
Now we will tell Butters to heal Cartman in a minute, but first let's thoroughly loot the place.
Your word is the command, my lord. Yes, sir. Yeah, there's a buddy.
His powers were too strong. The bard, he's up in one of the rooms. They took Princess Keene. They took her upstairs. I'm sure they're gonna rape her. Don't let them rape Princess Keene. The Wizard King is done for. Take out the new kid while I go upstairs and make contact with the King of Elves.
Now, as you can see, we have another fight coming up, but we can make that one a bit easier by already eliminating one of our enemies with the lamp over here.
You're not getting past us, fucker.
We should give this inn a really mean online. Use your magic on the front door, douchebag.
And now it's time for the reinforcements to arrive.
For the KKK!
We
can quickly loot the enemy that guarded the front door, and then we can smash our way through to the other group.
I'm Butters the Merciful of the Knights of Kind-Heartedness.
Alright, the Elven Anti-Magician is one hell of a tough enemy here. He is not a boss enemy though, so we could use a summon in this fight, but he does have some pretty powerful attacks as we just saw. Now, despite the fact that he is far more powerful than the other elf in this fight, we don't want to focus on the Anti-Magician first. Instead, we can stun him to disable him for a while and then focus on the Elven Sentinel. The reason for that is quite simple. The Sentinel can be taken down in 2 or 3 hits, while the Anti-Magician takes a lot longer to defeat, and every enemy against us is a potential source of danger, even if it's just a Sentinel. So generally, you want to take out the weakest enemies first, so they don't annoy you with their attacks while you focus on the strong ones. Now, as you can see, I've also decided to slightly speed things up once again, simply because this fight takes a while and gets rather repetitive near the end. By the way, the Anti-Magician, like the name suggests, is completely resistant to magic, meaning magic attacks or magic-infused melee and ranged attacks have no effect on him. That also means we cannot use our fart abilities to interrupt him from channeling, which is something he does have a tendency for. Now, luckily he didn't do that in this fight, but if he did, the best way to interrupt it would be to stun him with the Jujitsu. He's also immune to being grossed out and, contrary to the rest of the elves, not weak to fire, which in the end, well, like I said, makes him a very tough target at this point in the game. Eventually though, the constant fire damage takes its toll, and the Anti-Magician finally goes down.
Oh, I wanted to show mercy.
Where's the king?
He's over there. He's hurt bad.
Good thing my medicine skills are +4.
We'll revive the wizard. You guys get upstairs.
For our victory here we get 46 experience points and the wood elf armor, but we can still loot our enemies' bodies for a few additional goodies.
Don't hurry, douchebag. The princess is just being raped.
And one last thing that we shouldn't overlook is the drawer here, so let's open that as well and then we can head upstairs.
We gotta get to the princess! Wait a minute, listen. They're raping the princess right now. We have to bust in there.
Now the first room here we cannot enter, but before we head into the other one we want to make absolutely sure we grab Jimmy's garage key here.
He's keeping a prisoner.
Now the elf on the bed will stay on the bed and doesn't attack us, which gives us plenty of time to loot the place and then find a way up to him. Now to eventually get up onto the bed we first of all need to shoot the shelf here. That will set a few things in motion.
Good thing Jimmy's parents are out of town.
Now we can chop off the table leg and shoot down what's going to be our ladder. Then we need to shoot down the lamp, which will create a zip line for us. And all we have to do now is to climb on top of the cupboard and slide down.
Princess Kenny, how badly did they rape you?
I can't get through. The door appears to be enchanted, so I can't turn the knob.
You can't hold the doorknob, Bard. That's cheating. Yeah, I can. I have the stick of truth, which means I control the universe, and I say holding the doorknob is okay. Ah, can he do that?
He has the stick of truth. He can do what he wants.
Damn it! There's got to be another way into this room. Hey, let us up! You're not getting up here. The ladder's up here with me, and I'm sure as shit not coming down there.
And that sounds like a job for Kenny.
Well, looky what we got here. I'm coming for you, baby. Oh, yeah.
Wow, those are some big old biddies. Man, oh man. Good job, Princess Gone Wild. Double D buddy powers.
Alright, after looting the elf we can now climb up into the attic, where we once again find some enemies waiting for us. However, once again we can avoid a fight with all of them. By the way, the elf and the two rats in the back are another great chance to grab the Dragon Wrath achievement, as they can easily be knocked out all at once. We can also get our hands on Chin Pokemon number 14 of 30, which means only one more is missing until we have half of the collection completed, which would then unlock the Chin Poco Loco achievement. Don't forget to loot the rats as well here. They don't have anything particularly valuable on them, but a bit of cash can't hurt either. And now we can finally proceed by shooting down the chest here, which will open our way onwards.
You've nowhere to run, Bard. Give me the stick of truth. Take it from me if you can, Wizard King. Step forward now and fulfill your 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 destiny. You are no match for a grand wizard. The stick belongs with us, and I shall use every bardic power in my class to keep it from you. Fine. You want to throw down, brah? Kick his ass, douchebag. Who is douchebag? That's Sir Douchebag to you, and he's about to teach you some manners, Bard.
Alright, here we are fighting against Jimmy the Bard. After fighting the hallway monitor boss, this is now the second boss fight of the main quest, although personally I didn't find it to be that tough. Having Kenny as our buddy provides us with a great chance to use Furry Friends here, which takes out all of the small rats in one hit and also does some damage to Jimmy himself. After this one, however, Kenny's usefulness in this fight is very much debatable.
Pox on me. Sleep now, the whippoorwills are dancing. Gently now, put your mind to rest. Set him up and hot.
Now for Jimmy himself, it may have just been me, but I didn't find him to be particularly challenging. Yes, he does have an insanely large health pool, so it takes a while to take him down, but more often than not he chose to go with his lullaby attack, which I found to be pretty easy to counter even on hardcore difficulty. Now it did send my buddies to sleep quite often, but I felt like that was more a mild annoyance than a real challenge, because in the end it didn't make the fight any harder, it just dragged it out longer.
So apparently the plague's you heard about this? Yeah, I hear it's spread by rats in the wizard's pit. Hot, 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 hot.
One good thing with Jimmy as an enemy, by the way, to make up for his large health pool, he's not resistant to anything, and so very quickly into this fight he had accumulated a large number of negative status effects, and those of course did their fair share of damage as well. Midway through then I decided to switch out Kenny for Butters, simply because Kenny didn't really have anything useful to offer at this point.
Come on, new kid. Let's show them what we can do.
Close your eyes, no more thinking about your troubles. Sleep now with Jesus, for you are blessed. Wow, what a terrific hot, 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 hot. Knave.
By the way, I just remember I wanted to ask you this. Maybe for those of you who are a bit more familiar with the game, is there anything I'm missing about Kenny as a buddy? Because my perception right now is that Kenny is really only good for one thing in combat, and that is to cast Furry Friends. I know he also gets the Unicorn Stampede later on, but right now Kenny doesn't really strike me as immensely useful as a buddy. If that perception of him is completely off, however, then please do tell me, and I will gladly give him another go. And with that, our fight is also close to the end. One last attack, and then Jimmy will fall.
Feel my righteous fury.
Oh, dirty witch.
Oh, yeah? This is neato, huh?
The stick is ours! Yay!
Alright, we have defeated the Bard, earned 74 experience points, and we're now close to leveling up, and as always, we can now loot the place.
Find his running shoes. Just kidding.
The two most important items here, the Crutch of Weakness and the Wood Elf Cap, and once we have both of those, we can return to Cartman and subsequently also to Cooper Keep.
Ready to leave, Sir Douchebag? The stick of truth is back where it belongs. Great job, men. Douchebag, for your heroic deeds and valiant self-sacrifice at the Great Battle of the Giggling Donkey, I hereby make you an official member of the Kingdom of Koopa Keep. Welcome to the KKK.
It's getting late. The Grand Wizard needs to go night-night.
Okay, Mom, thanks for pointing out bedtime for everyone.
It's a school night, hon. You and your little druid friends need to—
We're not druids, Mom! We're fucking warriors and wizards!
Oh, that's it. You're going to bed. The rest of you better get home, too.
Okay, here we are. We unlocked the New Kid on the Block achievement for completing the Bard quest and officially joining the KKK, and almost equally as important, we have leveled up. That means we now have one more upgrade point available, but I have decided to actually save this one. Later on in the game we will unlock the Whirling Doom and Plagues of Egypt abilities, and currently I think I want to max out those two. However, since the amount of upgrade points we get in the game is limited, we can only max out 3 of our 5 abilities, and so I think from here on out we're going to save our upgrade points so that we can then spend them later. Once again, to the Stick of Truth experts among you, let me know if this is a good idea. Our next quest now is as simple as it can be. We need to get home and then go to bed.
It's late, hon. Your parents will be worried.
This now marks the end of day 1 in South Park, which also more or less concludes the first part of the game. The Stick of Truth is split into 3 parts if you want, each part being roughly equal to 1 day. Now, we won't go straight from one day to another, but I won't spoil anything, but the number of days completed is a rough estimate of how far we are in the game. And with that, we have now made it back home.
Well, there he is.
You make any new friends, sweetheart?
Nothing to say, huh? What a surprise.
It's late, sweetie. Go on up to bed and I'll be there to say goodnight.
And so let's head upstairs now and then we can enter our room. However, we will not go to bed yet because that will immediately continue the storyline. Once again, I don't want to spoil anything, you will see that in the next episode, but suffice it to say that things are going to get a bit more interesting from here on out. For today, I think this serves as a nice point to make the cut. As always, let me know if you liked this episode, and if you did, then leave a thumbs up. And of course, if you want to support the channel, then feel free to subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.